again with you, featuring some very fun gift card ideas. This gift card design features the Simon Says Stamp exclusive Peyton Ornament die set. This die set has a stunning ornament that cuts a partial die cut, so it cuts only the one side of the paper and creates the shape of the ornament on the other side. So it's absolutely beautiful, and I think it's a really fun and creative ornament. You can see here how it has the design of the ornament on the left-hand side, and then that right-hand side will be the empty space of the paper, so that'll be a negative portion that you'll end up getting rid of. I'm going to be creating little mini cards using these pieces of paper. These are cut to 4 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and score these at 2.5. This is going to create a little 2.5 by 4 inch card base. I'm going to score all 4 of these. I'm going to create a total of 4 different cards. They're all going to be created the exact same way. We're just going to be changing up the pattern papers that we'll be using to cover the ornaments. Once I've folded and burnished these card bases, I'm going to go ahead and lay them into my Big Shot machine. I'm going to lay them face down, open onto the cutting plates, and I'm going to line the ornament die right up in the center area of this card. I want it to be somewhere around the middle. As I line this up, I want to make sure that I am lining up the bottom portion of the die and the top portion of the die so that they both will end up cutting through the paper. I want both ends to be hanging off the edge of the paper because that's going to cut the paper completely. I'll run this through my Big Shot machine. You can see how that partial die cutting works. That negative piece there we're going to get rid of, and then these little negative areas in between the die cut, that's going to end up getting rid of as well. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz craft pick to go ahead and pop all those little negative pieces out. And then here you can see how that little partial die cut ornament looks on our card. We're going to end up being able to create a little bit of a pocket that the gift cards will be able to slip into. This is a really, really fun card design. Now to decorate my card, I'm going to start off by die cutting a piece of pattern paper with that die. This is going to get adhered onto the front flap of our card base. We're also going to have a second piece of paper. This one's going to be cut to 2.5 by 4 inches and it's going to get slipped inside of the card. It's going to be on the inside of the card base. So what we've done is we've created 2 pieces of pattern paper that are going to adhere over top of the card base to give our card a little bit of pattern and some beautiful color. These pattern papers are from Echo Park's Deck the Halls paper collection. I really love these papers because they're very pretty. They've got a lot of really beautiful designs, and all of the papers coordinate together really nicely. The other thing I like about these papers is that they're white on the backside, so if you wanted to use these for projects that you're going to actually see the backside, you'll have a nice bright white clean area on the back to not have to worry about having to cover it with cardstock or anything. Now for the panel that's going to go on top of the ornament die cut, we want to make sure that we use some liquid glue to add adhesive around the little intricate areas on this ornament because the regular tape adhesive that I used on this ornament doesn't cover over where the little tiny areas are. So I want to make sure I use some liquid glue to adhere those pieces down onto our card front. After I've laid that down, I'm going to go ahead and score it once again so that way I have a nice good scored edge. And here you can see how our ornament card is starting to work out. This ornament design really comes together very quickly. And you can create a whole bunch of these in an afternoon. That's just what I did. I worked on these. I was watching a football game, and it was really fun. So I'm taking some Distress ink here. This is some Festive Berries. I'm just adding a little bit of ink along the edges just to darken things up and give the ornament a little bit of separation and contrast off of the other pattern paper. I'm also going to take some antique linen and add that to the edges of the snowflake paper that's on the inside. And this is totally optional. You don't have to add this, but I think it adds a nice bit of a vintage look. And it also finishes off the edges of the paper nicely. Next, it's time to work on creating the pocket. So I'm just taking some double-sided adhesive and I'm adding this along the top and bottom portions of this flap. Once I've removed the adhesive backing, I'm going to go ahead and lay this over and press it down. And after we've adhered it down onto the paper, you can see how the gift card slides in and out of that pocket beautifully. And the adhesive on the top and the bottom holds that gift card inside nicely. So here's a look at how I finished off the cards. It was very simple to do. I had cut a second ornament using some of that red paper because I wanted it to have a little bit of dimension, and I also wanted a place that I could stamp a sentiment. So I'll show you how I did that quick. I'm taking an ornament here that I've die cut from that same paper that you see here on the left, how it has that beautiful poinsettia pattern. It's really, really gorgeous. I'm cutting that ornament down and trimming off the ends a little bit just to finish it off and make sure it has a nice rounded finish. I'm now going to take a stamp set here. This is the Simon Says Stamp and W+9 Holiday Trimming Stamp Set. I'm using this stamp set even though it was a stamped timber set and it's no longer available, I needed a sentiment that had the words to in it. I liked the fact that it said please deliver to. So if you have any sentiment stamps in your stamp set that says like to, from, or please deliver to, or for you, anything like that, that would work perfectly for this. You just want something that's going to allow you to point to who this is going to be given to. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set this sentiment that I've stamped in some Simon Says Stamp clear ink and applied some white embossing powder onto. I'm going to tie a bit of baker's twine around the card panel, and I'm going to make sure I line this up right in the middle of where that ornament is, so that way it looks like the string is holding up the ornament on the card. I'm going to add some foam tape on the back side of the ornament that we've stamped our sentiment onto, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop this up right into the center of where that first ornament is on that original die cut piece. This is just a really great way to finish off this card. Totally optional, you don't have to add this extra step. I think it looks cute just as it was, but I really like going the little extra mile to embellish my cards and really make them one of a kind. So I just cut off the ends of the baker's twine, and again, you can see how this comes together really, really easily and how fun they are to create. I could have kept creating these. I stopped at 4, but again, you could do so many different patterns, and if you have a lot of gift cards that you want to give for the holidays, this is a perfect design to be able to do that. So I hope this has inspired you to use the Simon Says Stamp Peyton Ornament in a little bit more of a different way. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and head on over to the Simon Says Stamp blog where you can get more information on this gift card design, as well as 4 other gift card ideas that I'm sharing today on the Simon Says Stamp blog. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can connect with us on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, as well as our blog. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you again soon.